you ever felt uncouth, unsure of how to be civilized? Are you afraid of proper progress? Well, fear not. Civilization can be learned. Do you have an abundance of wealth, metals and minerals, combined with no knowledge of how to capitalize on these? Then you need colonization. Without it, you are missing the opportunity of being part of something big, something great. This tutorial will take you to new colonial heights, or shall we say new lows. Firstly, since we've just discovered you, we're going to give you a new name. How does the CultureClash Theatre blah 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 sound? Sorry, you don't understand? And we can't understand you. Here, take our language. Now you can communicate with all of these people. Although we're not seeing a lot of enthusiasm from you, let's continue. It will be fun. The essence of civilization itself is all about morality. Our morality.
Yes, I have many gods.
Well, you may have been practicing your religions for a very long time, but you will need to follow our religion strictly. As a matter of courtesy. Now, there's everything wrong with dressing like that. You must learn what is in good taste.
Like straight hair and bleached skin.
Exactly. Next, charity leads to idleness. To develop you, we'll need to put you to work, cultivating sugar, tea, coffee and cloth. It's a tough job, but someone has to colonize you. Oh, and we don't mind the revenue. Don't mind them. They're just a company we've created to make sure you're doing your homework. Where were we? While working for our benefit, we don't want you to become encumbered with education or wealth of your own. Instead, we are going to give you the basic fundamentals of progress. Improved infrastructure, so we can transport all of those goods. More entrenched class differences. We'll divide and conquer you yet. Democracy. A proper government and vote in a real national election. Now give it back. We'll tell you when you get that vote. Before this lesson comes to an end, one must remember the most important thing. Profit, profit, profit. Profit is the symbol of power, strength and development. A gesture of your friendliness to us. Your taxes, your resources, and your forced labour are for our profit. And demonstrate our superiority and better breeding over you. Any questions?
I say no.
Although there have been some difficulties in making you civilized, we hope you will do well. Or we'll have to drill our dominance over you with some more violence. Though one shouldn't take resistance too seriously, except to see that it doesn't happen again.
In the early 1800s, Tasmania, then known as Van Diemen's Land, saw one of its most significant species become endangered. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, an endangered species is one that meets any one of a range of criteria, including a 50 to 70% population decrease over 10 years, a population size of less than 2,500 adults, a statistical prediction that it will become extinct in the decades that follow. So did this apply in this case? Was this island paradise really about to see its ecology transformed and its most dominant species relegated to a historical footnote? Before 1800, this species numbered around 15,000 in Tasmania, but little more than a decade later, that number had dropped by over 85%, reducing the number from 15,000 to just 2,000. The numbers bear it out, but was extinction set to follow? Looking back at official records from the 1840s, the British government supported a narrative suggesting that this local species could not be saved and had become a natural casualty of the modern world. Extinction, it seemed, was guaranteed. So why does extinction occur? Britannia.com lists some of the most common factors as loss of habitat, hunting, disease, the introduction of a foreign species into the environment. A foreign invader decimating a local species by destroying a habitat, aggressively hunting, and introducing disease, bringing it to the brink of extinction. If that had been happening to humans, surely governments around the world would have united in their outrage and done something about it. Wouldn't they?
A black line of hatred swept across the island, a line of invasion, of violence, of rage. For half a century they had beset our land, one by one this string of foreign powers, trying to drive us from our homes, breaking our communities, tearing apart our families, taking our women on board their ships, stealing our children, breaking our wills. A black line of hatred moving north to south, a European line of injustice, of fear. We'd fought back wherever we could, but seen our power dwindle, our numbers reduce. Where once we ruled the island with 15,000 lives, now just 2,000 fought to survive. A black line driving us to the island's edge, a line of inhumanity, inequality, intolerance. They'd brought diseases that we'd never known, destroyed our livelihoods with their cattle, deemed us a natural casualty of the modern world, but natural was far from the truth. A black line of hunters with us in their sights, a line of disgust, of disease and of death. Forming a line, they moved off together, crossing the island, hunting us down, rounding us up for deportation, dividing us from our land, but this was our home. A black line of foreign invaders from Britain trying to claim what was ours for themselves. We'd fought back for decades, their skirmishes, soldiers, but this time was different, this time was worse. Over 2,000 men made up the black line, their military, settlers, even prisoners set free. And for weeks, slow and steady from north down to south, the line crossed our island, surrounding us, imprisoning us, condemning us, dehumanizing us. But we are human too. We are human too. A black line between our people and their land. A black line redrawing the map of our home. A black line through our history and across the heart of our community. A black line ruling out our claim to humanity. A black line demanding our extinction. But we are human too. We are human too.